Joining us on this edition of the News Review, we have political commentator and analyst Fabrizio Goldani. Joining us from Hong Kong, also we have Secretary of the CIPI Foundation, Paolo Raffona, joining us from Brussels. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Let's start off with Mr. Goldani in Hong Kong. Sir, why is Sergio Mattarella trying to avoid early elections?
The point that because Sergio Mattarella wants to avoid the election is because in this moment we have definitely an economic meltdown. Just to give an idea, the GDP of Italy is almost 9% below zero, so it's negative 9%. Then we have a situation of the COVID-19 that is dramatic for several reasons. One is because we do not receive enough vaccinations, and the other one because it's difficult to contain, to lock down the city and the village. So to have a crisis in this moment, political crisis, can be, accordingly to Sergio Mattarella, can be difficult, can be dangerous. So he would like to have a high-profile name, and he chose Mario Draghi. Mario Draghi is very well-known, high-profile person because he was the president of a European Central Bank. Before was in Banca Italia, and was also in Goldman Sachs. So he's a person that knows the economy very well. Okay. He should lead a government of a national unity, but there are some doubt. There are some doubt that all the party will join and will vote for him. So, in my opinion, is a high chance that he will be in charge, but there is also some question mark because, for example, just 20 minutes ago, the number one in terms of voting power party, the Five Star, declined the invitation to vote for Mario Draghi.
Okay,
yeah.
Mr. Raffona. All right, please continue.
Yeah.
Okay, no, go ahead.
So we will go on. I think we will. I think it will need some time to be solved this crisis in Italy, for sure.
Okay, Mr. Raffona in Brussels, as Mr. Goldani mentioned, Italy needs a government of national unity. That seems to be what's missing right now. What are the main hurdles in getting that national unity across the board? And can someone like Mario Draghi bridge those gaps?
Well, I would like to recall what the President of the Republic, Mattarella, said, because he has been very sharp, very clear, and very dramatic. Basically, he has condemned the entire political representation in the parliament to their incapacity. And he has said that the country cannot go on in the current circumstances with the very poor management on the political side of a country that needs immediate recovery and responses to the population. So this is a very, very strong intervention from the President of the Republic, and he has put on the table Mario Draghi as the highest personality that can be used in this kind of cases. I see it very difficult for the political parties to continue playing their little games to maintain favors and positions that they have kept so far. The country really needs a change. This change didn't come through the usual political means, therefore the change will come through a technical intervention, and this will be sweeping, fast and far-reaching. I mean, in terms of time frame, is a matter of few months in which this has to be put into place. Otherwise, the risk is to be sidelined completely, not only at global level where we already are sidelined thanks to the past two governments we have had, but we will be sidelined also in Europe in a very terrible situation which will be much worse than 2011. Therefore, this cannot be done, cannot happen, and most sectors of the Italian society will support an intervention of recovery and reconstruction of this country beyond and without the political parties.
All right, Mr. Goldoni, what do you think about what our guest in Brussels just said? Italy requires a change, and it needs to be a significant one.
Yeah, so basically I can say I agree with the words that I just listened now. I would like just to remember that a previous technical government of Mario Monti a few years ago basically failed. Actually, because when you have a technical government, you really need to have the support of the parties and the population. So I personally, I hope that Draghi can have support from other parties, but I want to remember that the previous technical government in Italy was not successful.
Mr. Orfoni, final thoughts on the issue as well. Maybe a technical government doesn't have the answers to the political turbulence in Italy right now.
No, I don't think it doesn't have the answers, and I disagree with what has been said, because the conditions in 2011 were totally different. The Monti government at that time, it was imposed from outside of the country in a very harsh manner. The famous letter that arrived from the European Central Bank basically dictating the change of government. In this case, we are in a completely different situation. It's a totally internal, systemic crisis of the political system. The political system of Italy is completely blocked, is incapable of producing any result, and the failure of the Conte government shows this incapacity. So this is an internal problem, and the President of the Republic, who has to guarantee the unity of the country and the stability of the country, has rightly so intervened, saying we cannot risk the disgregation of Italy because of your quarreling. And that's why Draghi appeared. So this is an internal factor that brought Draghi in, while Monti was brought from outside. So in this case, I trust that the Italian population and the vast sectors of the interest groups in Italy will support such a move after the really upholding show that the political parties have given over the past few months.
All right, thanks a lot, gentlemen. Secretary of the CIPI Foundation, Paolo Raffona, joining us from Brussels. Also, thanks to a political commentator and analyst, Fabrizio Goldoni, joining us from Hong Kong. With that, it brings us to an end here on this edition of the News Review. It's bye for now.